Okay, now it's time to create our trial balance. As I've said all along, particularly if your ledger is done correctly, this is the easiest part of the process. Okay, but make sure we give our business a business name. Do not want to lose marks for something as simple as putting a business name and date at the top of our trial balance. Okay, so this was for the month of September. Okay, and our last transaction was on the 30th, so we'll make this 30 September. Okay, and as I've said before, okay, we're simply just working our way down our ledger and picking up each account as we go and bringing each account's closing balance for the period across into our trial balance, just the closing balance. So our trial balance is just a very condensed version of our ledger. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so 101 sales is our first account, and it's telling us we need to put 5,490 in the credit column. Okay, so you can do it one of two ways. You can simply write it in, okay, or you can go equals, and then you'll just need to click over here twice, first to activate this pane, and then another time to click on the cell. Okay, enter, there it is. Okay, then we go 102. Sales returns and allowances is telling us debit 160, so we're going to go equals. I guess a little tip or a trick that might save you time with your trial balance when you're going and creating your ledger. What you might do, and this doesn't bother me formatting wise, you might go 201 over here and then cost of goods sold. Okay, we'll make this bold. So I'm talking about right back when you first create your ledger template, having the account number and account name in separate cells. Okay, you're probably thinking, why didn't I tell you this right back at the start? Right back at the start of the unit, weeks ago. But anyway, so that here, to cut down on time, you might go equals, equals, and then equals. Okay, that cuts down on typing time. Here you don't have to type it twice when you do it here, and then type it over here again. So come exam time, that could be a little bit of a time-saving tip for you. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing it the longhand way. Oh, that was 0. Zero balances you don't really need to put in. If you leave them out because you push for time or whatever, then by all means you don't have to put them in, and I won't mark you down if it's not there. Okay, inventories 303. Okay, I'm going to put furniture in again. You don't need to in an exam. Furniture. Alright, 401.1. Food limited. Liabilities here, so liabilities are in the credit column, aren't they? 5930. Okay, 401.2. Credit $418. Okay, now GST collected. We've got 402.1. Equals 618. Hang on, this is meant to be in the debit column. 618 debit. And okay, 501 capital equals 35,000 credit. And then our drawings 502 is $500 of debit. Okay, well that's all of our accounts put into the appropriate columns. So we come down underneath and we can go, what we want to do is auto sum. So that starts giving us a band here. Come to the top of our blue box here and drag that right up to the top. Hit enter. Okay, we want to dress up this cell a little bit, so we want to make it bold. We want to give it a top and double bottom border. And we also want to come over here to number and give it a $sign. Okay, now save us doing all of that again. Click on that cell, come over here to the bottom right hand corner and drag that across. Okay, you'll see that if you double click on it, that's the range that it's adding up. Okay, and our trial balance is in balance. Ah, beautiful. Alright, that's our trial balance. As I said, easiest part of the journey, as long as obviously these are all correct. If they're not, then you need to try and, if it's out of balance, okay, what we need to do, you could go work out the difference between these two. So you could go equals that minus, okay, we need to work out the difference between the two of those if it is out of balance. Okay, first of all, ascertain what the difference is. So you would put in a formula like that. What's the difference? Then we need to halve that balance. So let's just say this was, I typed in here 814. Okay, notice because I did cell references all the way through, that changes automatically filtered through. Okay, so now our trial balance is out of balance, 396. Okay, now a common error is putting something into debit when it should have been a credit. Okay, so if that is the problem, what we want to do is we want to halve this amount here, because if it's gone into debit when it should have gone into the credit column, what you've in effect done is doubled the error. Okay, so if it's a debit and credit error, what we want to do is, once we've worked out what the difference is, divide it by 2. That would find us the number that we've mistakenly put in the debit column when it should have been in the credit column. Okay, but that's not the case in this one. Another error finding method that you can use is if it's a typo, okay, so if you go through and you can't find this 198 figure, you're going, oh geez, what have I done wrong? You might have made a typo, okay, which is what I've done here. I've done 814 instead of 418. If you you've worked out the difference between these two. If you divide that difference by 9, and it's an even number, then you've made a typo somewhere. Tricky, don't ask me to explain it, but if you can divide that number by 9 evenly to a full round number, or to a full number, then you've made a typo somewhere. And you've typed in, like I've done, 814 instead of 418. Okay? And then it's a matter of going back to your question, checking over each transaction that you've entered in, and make sure that you've entered all of your numbers correctly. Okay? So that's a couple of little problem solving things if you get to the end of your trial balance and it doesn't balance. So let's just say, I'll illustrate this point here. Let's just say this was 418. Okay, this is now not in balance. Let's just say you stuffed up and you put 418 in the debit column when it should have been in the credit column. And so that says debit, and you've mistakenly put this over here. Okay, you'll see, okay, that as you've gone through and done your trial balance, naturally, P. Peters is $418 just to confuse me as well. Jeez. Okay, let's put that back over there. Mail Newspapers is the account that we're dealing with. And let's just say you put this over here, because your ledger told you to put $400 incorrectly, $418 debit incorrectly into your trial balance in the debit column. Okay, you get to the bottom of your trial balance, it is incorrect. You do your little formula to work out what the difference is between these two, how far you're out of balance. Okay, and then you go to your problem solving methods. Right, okay, that's my difference. Is it a debit credit error? Okay, I'll divide it by 2. Okay, if it's, okay, you divide it by 2, 418 is our number. We can come back up here and go, right, okay, here's 418. Have I got that one wrong? Go back to your journal, go back to the transaction. How was I meant to process it? Oh, it's an accounts payable. That 418 is a liability. That really should be in the credit column. So that 418 should be a credit. Okay. That means we come over to our trial balance now. Instead of a debit, that 418 really should be over here. And now, okay, it's in its right place. Our trial balance balances. Everything is not out of balance. Okay, and we've just, it was out of balance, and we've gone and found our error and fixed it all up. Okay, so a couple of little problem solving methods there, guys, if you get to the end of your exam and it's out of balance. Okay, alright, I'm going to leave that there. Hope that helps.